are here with our special guest, LeVar Burton. LeVar Burton. Now, I have so many things to ask you, but the first thing, I'm going to get the business out of the way
Okay.
first.
All right,
These
here
are
we
the
go.
most important things, okay?
Mhm.
Now, in 1987, you did
Yes.
an episode of Murder, She Sat Down and She Wrote.
Yes, true that.
It's an episode called Death Takes a Dive.
Yes, yeah.
Tell me what you remember about the genius of Miss Angela Lansbury. Yes. You have scenes with her.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
And did she use a stand-in during your scenes?
I don't recall that she did, no.
Have you ever done that where, for the audience at home or listening, sometimes when the camera's on you,
Yes.
the person that the actor is looking at doesn't
Yes.
have to be the person who you're in the scene
over
with.
the shoulder.
And some shady-ass bitches will use this. Have you ever... Who?
I personally, I can honestly say that I have never been that shady. And I don't recall Ms. Lansbury having thrown shade.
Now, this is 30 years ago. Of course, you know.
No, I mean, she was an amazing professional. I mean, the woman played Lawrence Harvey's mother when she was younger than he was.
She was only, was she? Oh, she was.
She was younger.
She was younger than him in The Manchurian Candidate.
Yeah.
Brilliant movie.
Yeah.
But
I think she looked older when she was 12.
She did, because in
She had one of those
Gaslight.
faces.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, because in Alfred Hitchcock's Gaslight, I think
Right.
she was 17 years old or something
that
like
was
that.
Like her first role or one
It
of
was
her
her first big Hollywood
Yeah,
role.
right.
But so now, when you're in a scene with someone like Angela Lansbury, how do you keep yourself from drifting off and into your mind thinking, "Oh my God, this is the lady from Bed Knobs and Broomsticks"?
Right?
Bobbing along.
The one thing I do remember is the director of that episode. His name was, I believe, Bernard McAveety. I don't know why I remember this man's name. Oh, I do know why I remember his name, because when we were blocking the scene, he kept telling me, "Do not walk when she's speaking." And that was the first time I had ever been given that direction. Like, do not walk when another character is speaking, because Mr. McVitie knew that when she was speaking, the camera would be on her.
Yeah.
So
So it'd be a wasted shot of you.
it would be wasted movement on my part, because
Right.
it was going to be off camera. So it was a revelation.
Did it strike you? Again, this is 30 years ago, but did it strike you that this person, because her inner dialogue when she's doing a scene and the camera's on her and she doesn't have any dialogue, her inner dialogue is so expressive and so specific.
Yeah.
Did you notice that when you were working with her?
I was so in awe of her. And I don't know that I noticed, what her inner dialogue was, but she had this energy about her. She absolutely did.
What was she like in the sack?
Well, Ru, Kunta doesn't kiss and tell.
You know what I just realized? That Kunta that Roots
Roots.
was
My mother called it
LeVar's
Roots.
first acting
job
ever.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And nominated for an Emmy on your first. How do you
how did they find you?
I was a sophomore studying theater at the University of Southern California in Los Angeles. They were beating the bushes. They had casting sessions in L.A., Chicago, and New York, and they had come back to L.A. They'd come back home and hadn't found their Kunta yet, and so they cast the net wider. They called the drama schools at, I think, UCLA, Cal Arts, and SC, where I was.
If I had a nickel for every time I said I hadn't found my Kunta yet,
stop it right now?
I would be a
You
very
gotta
rich
stop
man.
yourself.
And who was the casting director?
Lynn Stolmaster.
The
legendary
legendary
Lynn Stolmaster, yeah.
For people out there listening to this, next time you see the name on a credit, you'll go, "Oh my God, that's that name!" It's on every movie, television show you can imagine.
In an era, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And so when you become friends with, I know it's very hot in here.
It is a little warm.
It's very warm in
It's
here.
warm.
We're in Los Angeles,
Yeah.
even though it's November.
It costs extra for air conditioning.
It
darling.
is so. It's still
90
hot out.
degrees.
How can they deny climate change?
90 icebergs are melting, but yet there's no climate
There's no
change.
climate change. But I guess being friends or having a casting director really like you is money in the bank, isn't it?
It is, yeah, absolutely.
Did Lynn Stallman, is that a man or a woman?
Man.
Man.
Yeah.
Did Lynn Stallmaster cast you in anything else after that?
Not to my knowledge, no.
So did you key Lynn Stallmaster's car after that?
Kunta doesn't kiss and tell.
Kunta doesn't key cars. Kunta doesn't key cars.
Say that 10 times fast.
The K sounds are funny.
Yeah, no, you know that.
Yes.
Cha and K, Shaka Khan.
Yes.
Those are funny punchline. I heard that from Sid Caesar years ago. He said in the writers' room on your show of shows.
Your show of shows.
He was one of the writers with Mel Brooks and a bunch of the other Borscht Belt comics. He said, cha sounds are funny. So if you're going to write a punchline, do a cha or a ka.
You wouldn't say salmon, you'd say scrod.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you.
Funny.
Exactly.
That's hilarious.
I'm a writer.
No, you're a writer.
Thank
You
you.
belong in the writers' room,
Yeah.
Michelle Visage.
Thank you.
So now, such a long career. Now you started out. Obviously, Roots put you on the map, but you have worked consistently since.
I've
then.
tried, Rue. I have tried to keep working.
Jordy
Yeah.
LaForge was epic.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
But
and Reading
Star Trek.
Rainbow.
Yes.
And it goes and
Reading
Murder.
Rainbow was 23 years or
Yeah.
something that they
Yeah.
ran?
Yeah.
26.
26
Third
years.
longest in PBS history.
Amazing. And Murder. She sat down and she wrote.
Yes.
You know, I mean,
Yes.
that's at the top of the list.
And somewhere in there is an episode of Fantasy Island, and
Oh.
where Sammy Davis Jr. played my father.
You are kidding
I
me.
am not.
Sammy Davis Jr., the great Sammy Davis Jr.
And I'm sure
plays
we've
your
seen
father.
it 10 times.
It was for me a real highlight.
Did you get lost? I mean, when you're doing a scene with him, do you forget? This is the thing about acting. Okay, you know, I get distracted when I'm looking at another person, and I'll think, oh, you've got brown eyes, and I go, oh, wait a minute, I'm in a scene. Oh, yeah, right.
Can we do that again?
Yeah.
It was impossible for me to forget that Sammy Davis Jr. was Sammy Davis Jr.
Did you
Yeah.
know when you were auditioning
Yeah.
that Sammy was going to be playing the father in this role?
Yes. Yes.
You did.
I knew when I got the call that Sammy would be.
What do you remember about doing the scene with him? You say, hey, hey, Kunta, hey, man.
Hey,
Ka-chong.
I love Sammy Davis Jr.
So much.
Yeah.
So much. First time I met Sammy Davis Jr. was backstage at the Tonight Show. And he wanted to give me suits. And
Are you
What do
not
you
the
mean?
same size?
no, we're not. Which
He
is
was
what
tiny.
he was.
He
He was
Yeah.
kind of a petite man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was flattered but puzzled.
Uh-huh. Did you get him?
No,
Did you take
I
him?
wish I had
Yes,
now.
yes.
I was 19. What did
Yeah,
I know?
yeah.
That I would want to have Sammy's suits,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
But
So you met him backstage at the Tonight Show.
Tonight Show, and he was incredibly gracious.
Did he in person? Obviously, on screen he had that star magic. But what's it feel like to be in the presence of that kind of star magic?
It has been said, and it is really true, that the biggest stars are also the nicest and most gracious and generous.
Mhm.
And Sam was that. He was an incredibly gracious, magnanimous man. He invited the entire cast. I played a photographer, and as my father, he and I, our characters were estranged. And in one of the scenes, I had this bevy of beauties that I was shooting on the island. And he invited me and the girls and a couple of the people up to his house after we finished working, just to hang.
In Hawaii, was that filmed?
No, this was filmed at the Goldwyn Studios
What'd
on
you hear?
Santa Monica.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why I thought they filmed it on
They
location.
might have gone someplace to do those scenes with Ricardo and
Uh-huh.
Hervé, but I didn't get that.
And
thrill.
did you guys all go up to his house?
Yes.
Where did
Oh
he
my
live?
In the hills.
Where in the hills? I
Hollywood
want
Hills.
addresses, and I want
Rude.
because he doesn't live there anymore.
No, he doesn't. But
You know,
somebody
somebody
does.
does.
Somebody
exactly.
does. Somebody
and
does.
You've met everybody in the business.
I think I have.
Michael Jackson.
Yes.
And what was that
Met
like?
Michael Jackson at the Roxy.
Here on Sunset
on
Boulevard.
Sunset
That's
Boulevard.
A block from here,
Yeah,
where we're filming right now.
Right after Off the Wall came out.
Oh, that's
in
good year.
79.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1980.
Good years. Good years. In fact, the first time I ever went to the Roxy, it was to see Shaka Khan.
You're kidding.
Serious Square Biz.
Did she show up?
She was there.
Uh-huh. Because back then, she had a reputation for not showing
Well,
up.
not as bad as Sly.
Oh, right. Did you
Right?
ever meet Sly
I
Stone?
never met Sylvester Stewart. No.
Yeah.
No.
You're a big fan.
Big fan.
What's
Big
your
fan.
favorite Sly Stone song? Well, the whole
If
greatest
you
hits album,
want me
everything on there.
today, I'll be
If you
alright.
want me to
Yeah.
stay.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And I'm
Brilliant.
sure his beats have been sampled and used over
Over and over.
Well,
again.
you know, Rhythm Nation, is that Jungle Boogie? In Janet Jackson's
that was Cool
Rhythm
in the Gang.
Nation,
Jungle,
no, Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation, I think.
Jungle.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
you're saying what are they
Sign of
using?
Family
Yeah.
Stone is the sample in Rhythm Nation.
Rhythm Nation.
I believe.
Mhm.
So now LeVar Burton, so many years in this business, because Roots was 40 years ago,
Yes.
76.
76.
76.
Yeah.
Or bicentennial.
Were there different directors on that?
Yes, there were. David Green directed the first 3 hours. Hour 4 was John Ehrman. No, hour 4 was Marvin Chomsky, or maybe it was John Ehrman. Then Marvin Chomsky, and then George Sanford Brown.
George Sanford Brown from the
yes.
Rookies.
Yes.
Now, of course, for y'all, he's the black guy on the
Yeah,
Rookies,
yeah.
and he in many things. And he's one of those people, one of those actors who moved on black actors who moved on in directing. Her and Ivan Dixon.
Ivan Dixon.
And now Carl Franklin.
Carl Franklin. Kevin Hooks.
Yes, that's right.
There are Eric Lonneville.
And now Eric Lonneville though wasn't an actor first.
Was
though.
he? Yes, he was.
Was he?
Yes, he was. He was on Room 222.
Oh, Room 222. Now we're going
Not
back.
to be confused with 227.
No,
Right.
no, 227 stuff in here. Now, how does one maintain a career for 40 some plus years? 76 is, I don't know what year it is. I can't add, but I know it's over 40 years.
It is.
How do you maintain a career that long?
The grace of God, persistence,
Be
a
good.
little bit of luck.
Coffee enemas? Does that enter into it
not,
at all?
Not at this point, no.
Uh-huh.
No.
But there's still tomorrow.
There's still time. There is still
we
time.
have hope.
Kusa don't do no coffee enema.
Nah. Gonna pass on that one. Why would you ask me that shit?
Because
that's real.
this business is not the easiest business in the world, and many people do lots of different things
okay.
to stay say the word.
Relevant.
Thank you for.
Relevant.
I can't say that word. I don't know how to say it.
Okay.
But you never know, and I always want to know the secret.
What's the
Everybody
secret?
wants to know the secret.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Did you have mentors who said, "Listen"? Did Sammy say, "Listen, kiddo, a chunka, you got to do this"?
Yeah. I've received advice from a lot of people, including Sam, over the years.
What did Sam say?
Hang in there, kid. Hang in there, baby. Hang in there, baby.
That's easier said than done
Yeah, it
because there's
is.
so many
It
things
is.
that you in this business that you don't, that no one could tell you about. Because in my experience, the hardest thing is staying interested in it long enough to allow the blessing to come through.
Yeah, right.
Because there are lots of dark nights of the soul
There are.
in this business, especially when you're using your body and your intellect to maintain this. I mean,
You just
you're
get drained.
Yeah, you're a
Yeah.
self propelling engine.
You're good. Your where is you.
Is you.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
how do you keep that in tip
Staying
top?
interested is really the key, and it's one of the reasons why I started diversifying as soon as I could in my career and branching off into writing and producing and directing.
Because Reading Rainbow is your baby.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
own Reading Rainbow.
Well, no, I had an exclusive perpetual worldwide license for 6 years for Reading Rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
I was the host for 26 years, and then brought it back for a new generation of digital learners with the app, with the Reading Rainbow app.
And can parents find that now?
Yeah, it's now called Skybrary. And I earlier this summer in August, I had a revelation, and
It didn't involve coffee enemas.
it did not.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just as cleansing.
Uh-huh.
Thank God.
And the revelation was every ounce I continue to invest of my energy in a brand I will never own is another ounce of energy I'm investing in a brand I will never own.
Right.
And so I recognized that it was time to give Reading Rainbow back to WNED, the Buffalo television station,
Mm-hmm.
and do something that I could control.
Sure.
And so LeVar Burton Kids is my new company and my new focus.
And LeVarBurtonKids.com, is that what you
Yes.
do? Is that how you find it?
Yes, that's how
Okay.
you find us. And the Skybrary app, absolutely.
Well, before we leave the whole Reading Rainbow storyline, is there gold at the end of that rainbow?
There is.
Okay. And having done the show for so long, do you know how to read?
I do.
Oh, wow. So there is gold at the end of the rainbow.
There is gold at the end of that rainbow, and the pot is full of literacy.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. I'm absolutely.
Could Geordie LaForge read with the banana clip on his eyes?
Trust and believe. Yes, Geordie could read.
I want to talk about that banana clip after the break.
And whose idea? We need to come.
We're going to take a
All
break,
right.
and Michelle, I assure
you.
we will answer every question about that banana clip that he has. So we've got LeVar Burton here. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. Girl, I love me some Squatty Potty. It makes going to the ladies' room, I always say the ladies' room.
Because we got a meeting in there.
Yeah, there's a meeting in the ladies' room. It just makes it's so much easier. And I just, I know they have a new portable one.
Yes.
I've got to get, because, when I travel or when I, working on different sets around town, I got to have that.
No, we need the portable one. And Squatty Potty has a whole bunch of different designs, making your porcelain throne fit for any king or queen. Join the movement by visiting squattypotty.com/Rue and receive a free bottle of Fruity Booty.
Hey, Fruity Booty.
Toilet spray with a purchase.
You thought I was going to do my laugh?
$20 or more. Remember, a happy colon is a happy life. Hey, Fruity Booty. That's your new nickname.
I think everybody could use some extra money.
Yes, girl.
I know that's right. Well, you should try Lyft. The ride-sharing app that lets you be your own boss, pick your own hours, and earn up to $1,500 a week.
Let you say it.
Driving your own car.
Okay.
I love that.
And we have a special offer for you. Sign up today at lyft.com/Rue, and you'll get a $500 new driver bonus after you complete 100 rides within 30 days. That's a $500, Rue.
$500.
Go to lyft.com/RU right now and get yourself some money.
We've got LeVar Burton here. Michelle is obsessed with Star Trek.
I was really, really a big Trekkie at that time. I started with, that was Generation?
We were the next generation.
Yes.
Next generation.
I
Next generation.
started with the
original series.
Patrick Stewart.
Oh,
movie.
that was us. That's us.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
So, and
that's
then I
us.
watched all the movies.
Yes.
They all start, there's 150 of them now. So
There
they all
are.
start to
Yeah.
meld.
Yeah,
But
they
it
do.
was so, that was also, help me with her.
Whoopi?
Redhead
Genghis
on,
Khan.
No, the woman
Gates McFadden.
on, we had her on the radio in New York City. She's now Red in Orange is the New
Oh,
Black.
yeah.
Oh, Kate Mulgrew.
Yes.
Kate Mulgrew.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
she was Voyager. She was the captain on Voyager.
So she came after.
She came
Okay,
after.
but I
yes.
watched them all. Like,
Yes.
I'm
Okay.
just too old now.
All right.
Brilliant series. So well done. It could have gone so wrong, and it went so right.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long did you do that?
We did it 7 years and 4 movies.
Yeah. And you could see through that banana clip?
I've a little.
Really, a
'Cause they
little.
were actually banana clips.
Well, it wasn't an actual banana clip, but it was inspired by a woman's hair retention device. Yes.
Did you say hair retention
Yes.
device?
Only a true intellect would use
Yeah.
that word.
How many pairs do you have? Do you have any? At
I have the
home?
one. I have the one that I wore for.
The
Wait
original?
a minute.
I have
Wait
the
a
one.
minute.
I
There
have
was
the
only
one.
one?
I have the one I wore. They made a couple of stunt versions of it, and I believe.
Stomp banana clips?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You only had one?
What if it broke?
It wouldn't. It was machined of metal, and
Mhm.
it was sturdy as all get out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it was the same one.
It was the same one I wore for 6 of the 7 years.
That's a long run.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. 6 of the 7 years.
Yeah,
What
the
about
first
the seventh year?
the first season it was different. The first season it was plastic and it was kind of funky.
For a 99-cent store.
Yeah, it was closer to the hair clip than it
Uh-huh.
was to anything else.
So LeVar Burton, does LeVar Burton get confused for LeVar Ball?
This is the bane of my existence.
Oh, I would
right now.
imagine, because it's the B at the end of the name, and then
Yeah.
The man is giving LeVars all over the world. a bad name.
oh no,
It's so not okay. So not.
Is it
okay.
affecting you?
Well, I mean, I'm getting a lot of his, I'm getting a lot of the heat that's aimed at him.
Shut up! They're aiming.
Especially since the CNN interview that he
Right.
did with Chris Cuomo, where he just ran roughshod all over Mr. C. Yeah, people are angry. He's just he's arrogant, and he's apparently not apologetic enough.
So public service announcement: LeVar Burton is not LeVar Ball.
Please remember that if you take nothing away from this podcast, please remember that LeVar Burton is not LeVar Ball.
Amen.
Well, but listen, you've been in the business for a long time, and we just talked about self-care and self-preservation. What are some of the tools you've used over these 40 plus years to protect your heart from things that people say, people call you, they call you, I'm sure people call you Kunta Kinte to this day.
I call myself Kunta.
Yeah.
I claim it. I own it.
Sure.
You know why? Because I can.
Yes.
Well, you are.
Exactly.
You created.
Exactly. The thing that you have to do, and I'm sure you both know this, is you have to just develop a thick skin.
Yeah.
You really do. First of all, the life of an actor is not easy. I mean, we suffer rejection all the time as a part of what we do. And it's oftentimes not about your talent, it's about something personal about you. You don't have the right look. You don't have the right hair. You don't have the right skin color. You don't have the right voice. There's something about you that causes them to just go in a different direction. And that's hard. You really, really have to develop a thick skin and keep coming back for more and more rejection. It is not for the weak of heart.
Nope.
This business. It's just not.
And how are you at auditioning? Are you any good at it?
I reached a point in my career where early on, when I took umbrage at having to audition, I got, I was a little too big for my britches, and I thought, I'm LeVar Burton. Why should I go in and audition? And I was sabotaging myself even before I got in the room, and I would walk in with this attitude, and I was just torpedoing any chance I ever had of getting a gig. When I made the mental shift and remembered how much I loved acting, and then things started to get better, and I started really enjoying the audition process. That the audition was an opportunity to do something that I really love, and that it really helped me turn the corner. But it was my attitude that was getting in the way.
Yeah, because the truth is, there are new casting directors all the time.
These kids, they don't know from roots.
They don't know roots,
No,
and they're
it's a
also,
shame.
a lot of times I find that the production wants to know that you are someone who's willing to play the game.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times the audition is just a matter of saying, is he willing?
Or, and having directed a lot of television, I recognize that part of that game is because there are so many people who have to decide and weigh in on who gets cast and who doesn't. It's not just the director, it's the producers and the writers and the network. Oftentimes they're just wanting you to come in and nail it in the room.
Yes.
They want to see the performance in the room. They just want to see it so that everybody can sign off, and nobody sticks their neck out.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody goes out on a limb for anybody, for one actor and over another. They see you do it in the room, you get the gig.
Right. When you go on auditions, or 10 years ago, 20 years ago, when you go, who did you always see in the audition room? What other actors were always there? It's like, oh my God, you're here again.
Man, I went into an audition one time. This is a few years back, but they had every black actor of a certain age stacked up like firewood in this room, and it was so disheartening. The room was just a who's who of beautiful black men. Glenn Turman and Robert Hooks, and it was an amazing assembly of talent.
It's like Oprah's Legends Ball,
right? but the fact that all of these men were in that one place, all looking to get a gig, it hurt my heart.
Why did it hurt your heart? Because that's the nature of the game.
That's what we're doing.
It is. It hurt my heart because I looked up to all of these men, and I thought they deserved better.
They do.
And
there's only one role, LeVar.
Yeah, but if you are a compassionate casting director, you don't call all of these men at the same time.
Right.
You space them out throughout the course of the day, and you bring other actors for other roles in, so that
Yeah, I get
that's
it.
respectful.
No.
I
Right?
get it.
Sometimes they don't give a shit.
But yeah, but you've been on the other side of that.
Yeah.
You've auditioned other people
Yes,
before, and a lot of
absolutely.
times it just doesn't work out that way.
Yes,
It is a cattle, literally a
it's
cattle,
a cattle call. I understand, but that was a sad day.
But okay, I'm going to ask you about that. I asked you a little bit about that before, but how do you reconcile that part of your heart, your sweet, soulful, sensitive heart, with the actual business of being in show?
Yeah.
How do you balance that part? Who do you talk to about that? What do you do?
You have to. I think I have learned over time how to make room in my heart for that which hurts, and the exercise, I think, is to just keep expanding, so that slight or that wound occupies less and less space. Just keep expanding, and then by proportion, that arrow, that pierce, it's small by comparison.
Do you have a spiritual program?
I definitely consider myself in a spiritual practice continually, every day, with every breath I take.
Do you meditate?
I do.
What is your meditation? How do you meditate?
Stretching and breathing, yoga, prana, breath. I studied for the priesthood earlier in my life.
Wait, stop,
What?
hold up.
When was that?
Is this before 76?
Yeah. I entered the Catholic seminary when I was 13 to study for the priesthood.
Wait. Hold up, Mr. Lover. Okay, what parents would let a child go and say, the kids goes, "Hey, Mom,
Irma Jean Christian did.
you really?"
Oh yeah.
Because you
They'd love it.
You were born in Germany. Your parents were army folks.
Yes.
And they're smart people. These are smart. And
Yeah. My mother was an English teacher and then a social worker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how would they say? You say, "Oh, I want to go into the church," and they said, "Okay."
Mm.
I would think that smart parents like yours were or are would say, "Kiddo, give it a few years." They didn't.
I was determined. I decided to become a priest when I was 8.
Wait a
Were
minute.
you raised Catholic?
I was.
You have kids now. If Michaela
Yeah.
came over to you and said, "Dad, I want to be a nun,"
Yeah.
would you have said,
Hold
"Sure"?
Well, in today's world, I would I would be concerned. And as a parent, I just want my kids to be happy.
Yeah, but you also realize at this point in life that life rolls out so much. You don't want to get a tattoo at 13 because you're not going to want
A butterfly.
a butterfly with on when you're 30. And the same is true with those kind of heavy commitments.
Yeah.
Especially at 8 years old, because at 8 years old, kids still want to be princesses and
Yeah.
cowgirls and cowboys
Right.
and astronauts.
I didn't.
You wanted to
You
be a
only wanted to be
priest.
a
I wanted to be a priest
Why?
Why?
because they were the most positive male role models in my life.
Were you still in Germany at this time?
No, we were here in California, in Sacramento.
in Sacramento.
Yeah.
And so how did that play out? So
Well,
you
obviously
studied,
didn't
I
because-
went to St. Pius
which is where?
in a little town called Galt, California.
Is this a high school or college?
It was a high
Seminary?
school. It was a
Okay.
high school. It's about 25 miles south of Sacramento.
So Catholic high school.
Catholic high school,
All boys?
college prep, all boys, boarding school. Yeah. And I stayed there for 4 years, got an amazing education, decided not to become a priest.
Right, right. From the years in Catholic high school and the years of preparing to be a priest, what of that did you carry over into your career as an actor,
My life
or
now?
even today? Do you still carry some of that?
I'm a freak for ceremony. I love ceremony.
Yeah, it's kind of beautiful, isn't it?
I love ceremony.
In general?
Yeah.
Are you still a Catholic?
No.
No.
But ritual really excites me.
What sign are you?
I'm an Aquarian.
Aquarian.
Yeah.
Which is why the excitement of the head in the sky.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Have you ever played a priest on camera?
I have not. No, I haven't.
Huh, that's
And
odd.
I know, isn't it?
In hindsight, when you look back at the 8-year-old, 13-year-old you, what was that about? Why do you think that young child said, "I want to be a priest"?
They were They were important in the community.
Revered.
Revered. They didn't pay taxes.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. That's all I need to know right there.
There were many attractive things
But
about
there's
the gig.
one big thing that you're leaving out.
Well, that was the deal breaker.
Yeah.
That ended up
You'll
being
know right away that's important.
Yeah, that became the deal breaker.
Yeah.
The no sex thing.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Well, alleged.
Right.
Alleged.
Yeah.
Exactly.
In theory.
Yeah.
In
On
theory.
paper.
Yeah.
In theory.
So you somehow made your way down to Southern California,
Yep.
to USC, and you entered the acting program, or did that
I did.
come
Yeah,
later?
I was a BFA major in drama.
So all theology went out the window.
Yeah, it did. It did.
Interesting.
But you know, I carried some of that, with me, and
Sure.
and like you say, Ru, I mean, there's
Spirituality.
there's part of that lives inside of me
Sure.
today.
Yeah.
And USC's a great film program or just
drama.
It's a great school.
Yeah.
Did you study with Nina Foch?
I did not.
Was she there when you were there?
She was not. She wasn't when I was there. I auditioned for Roots as a sophomore. I got Roots was my first professional audition,
Right.
and
you nailed it.
and I never looked back. Yeah.
How many times did you have to audition for it?
I went to Lynn Stonemaster's office, I think twice. I read for David Green, the director, once, and then March 27th, 1976, I was screen tested.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
And did you go back to school?
Yes.
Obviously, because you got your BFA.
Yeah.
Oh, you went after it finished.
After we finished shooting, I went back that following September, and then the promotional machine started for Roots, which aired in January of '77.
It was everywhere.
And it was everywhere. And I took a leave of absence from school, and that was it.
You took did you ever go back?
I never finished.
You never finished.
Oh, so you didn't finish the program.
No.
Well, you couldn't. I mean, you
You were
became
everywhere,
a superstar overnight.
Yeah.
It was. I remember. It was so crazy. And every late night talk show, everybody was saying the words "kunta kinte."
My parents watched. I remember vividly, because I want to say it was in the same 5-year zone as Salem's Lot with David Soul.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Well, TV movies
but go
were
with
the
me on this.
thing.
Yeah.
TV movies.
But I remember wanting to watch, because my parents watched it religiously, Roots and both. I understood Salem's Lot because it was too scary, but they wouldn't let me watch Roots because they thought it was way too heavy of a topic for how old was I? 8-year-old.
Right.
To watch.
Well, that's an interesting thing, and I want to
But I
ask you
wanted to.
about. I want to ask you about the lingering effects of going through that experience,
that
because
is
as an
heavy
actor,
shit,
we're going
LeVar.
to take a break real quick.
Yeah.
But when we come back, I want to ask about the lingering effects of having experienced that kind of oppression, even though you're on a set, there are cameras, and it's a safe
He
space.
was in it.
Yes, up in it. We got LeVar Burton here. The website is called LeVarBurtonKids.com.
Yes.
Why kids? They're ruining the world. These crazy kids.
We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Now, Michelle, you stole one of my squatty potties.
I stole maybe 2 of yours.
Because I have that teak one, which I love. But I have more than one toilet.
Yeah, and I have more than one. Do you only have one
I
squatty
only
potty?
have one squatty potty.
What?
Yeah, I do.
I have 4 squatty
You have
potties.
four squatty potties? Yeah.
Apparently, one is yours.
Well, you know what? I'm just going to have to have the guys over at Squatty Potty give me another, because I want one of those new lucite ones.
You need the 9-inch. I only need the
Ooh,
7-inch.
girl.
Wake me when you're done.
Wait a minute. Which one do I have?
I think you have the 7-inch.
Okay.
But because your legs are so long and you're so tall,
right.
I think a 9-inch would do you good.
Okay. Hey, listen, I'm not going to turn my nose up at a 9-inch.
Hell no.
And this is, everybody knows why Squatty Potty works. Explain to them why it works
I
so
guess
well.
we should not be talking about how it looks. We should talk about how it
How
works.
it works.
Yeah, it's amazing, you guys. They offer the ultimate and complete elimination. I say this because the science is simple. Squatting in the bathroom unkinks the colon. It's literally, that's what it does. It allows your body to shed the unwanted waste. Squatty Potty offers multiple toilet stool designs like we were talking about, making your beautiful throne fit for any king or queen. And they come in all shapes and sizes. There's the teak one that Rue has, the adjustable bamboo one, there's an Echo one, and the foldable Porta Squatty Potty.
But I want that lucite one.
Yeah, you want that too. So we want a foldable one portable one.
Yeah.
You want the 9-inch Lucite.
Yeah.
And they actually gave us something new called Squatty Potty Clears, which is the Lucite. So they don't just help you squat too, you guys. They also have bidets and toilet sprays. And the bidet, by the way, I've gotten into bidets recently, especially over in Europe. Takes less than 10 minutes to set this thing up. And it hooks up to pretty much any toilet. You're saving toilet paper. You're saving the planet. And you're getting really extra clean. It's a much cleaner experience. So join the movement by visiting squattypotty.com/Ru and receive a free bottle of Fruity Booty toilet spray with a purchase of $20 or more. And remember, a happy colon is a happy life. You better get your Squatty Potty life.
Now, LeVar Burton is here. Roots was over 40 years ago.
Wow.
I'm just interested. I just finished reading this book called The Warmth of Other Suns. And it talks about the great migration of Black folks from the Jim Crow South to the North and out West. Yeah. And it was interesting revisiting that because I got to get in touch with my own residual Black rage that gets passed on from generation to generation because of such a horrible thing that happened to Black
rage.
It was a lot of rage. Yeah. But having done the movie, television miniseries, epic Roots, what was the residual that you took away that you still may have from that experience of playing Kunta Kinte?
For me, the overwhelming takeaway for me is that Roots is not a story of slavery. It is the story of a people who were enslaved, and that ultimately it is a story that chronicles the strength of our ancestors, those who endured unspeakable horror and survived long enough to give birth to succeeding generations. Roots is a story about survival and the ultimate triumph over evil.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's a very different energetic signature than another story about slavery.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You talk about taking the power, not associating really with the victimhood, but associating, really focusing on the tenacity of the human spirit.
That's right.
Which is so amazing.
That's right.
And when's the last time you saw the original Roots?
Let's see. Last year, I was an executive producer on the remake of Roots.
Yes.
And
did you also appear in it?
I had a very brief cameo.
Yeah.
Very brief, a sort of a passing of the torch from Kunta to Kunta in one scene. But I had occasion to watch the whipping scene during the prep of the remake, and I have to say, it holds up.
Yeah,
it holds up.
When you watch your 20-year-old, 21-year-old,
I was 19.
You were 19-year-old yourself.
Yeah.
How do you resist critiquing your performance?
Are you able to? Do you look at it now and say, "Oh God, I would have done this differently"?
I do. Yeah, I do, and I recognize that that there was a lot that was right about my instincts back then, and I know that I received a lot of help from the ancestors, especially in the scenes we shot of the Middle Passage. I know that I had a lot of help from on high.
Was it all filmed here?
No, we shot most of the first 3 hours in and around Savannah, Georgia.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember that time so well. I haven't seen it since then.
Really?
Yeah. But I need
can
to
we?
see
Where
it again.
can
Where can you see
Can we
it?
buy it on
the DVDs are available
on
yeah.
iTunes?
Yeah.
Probably, I bet you.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
And so you were an executive producer on the
remake. Yeah.
The remake, which was 2-3 years ago.
It wasn't it?
Not that long.
2016.
Last
Wasn't it
year.
last year? Was it last year?
And were you? Did they ask you to come on board, or were you
Yes.
part of the team that brought it back?
They asked me to come on board. And at first, when I first heard that they were going to do a remake of Roots, I was not in favor of it. But then I had a conversation with Mark Wolper, who was the executive producer and the son of David Wolper, who produced the original. Right. And Mark told me his story, and that he had shown the original to his children, and I think his son was like 13 at the time, and they watched it, but at the end of it, they said, "Dad, we understand why Roots is important, but it's kind of like your music. It just doesn't speak to us." And
Interesting.
Mark said, "I recognize that if we were going to keep this really important story alive in the culture, that it would be necessary to retell this story in a storytelling language that this generation understands." And I got that immediately. And
Yeah,
I,
it was
and I signed
2016.
on.
You guys were right.
2016.
Yeah, 2016.
What? No. Who are your scenes with? In
In the original?
Yeah.
Oh my God. My first day on the set as a professional actor, Cicely Tyson played my mother.
Oh my goodness.
Maya Angelou played my grandmother.
What?
What? I was in actor heaven. You know what I'm saying?
You couldn't even
And I was a kid. I didn't know shit.
You couldn't have messed up if you tried because they would have lifted you right up.
Wow.
That's a blessing.
So Cicely Tyson plays your mother
Yeah.
in this thing.
Yeah.
What did you learn from her?
They all from Sicily, from Dr. Maya, from Lou Gossett, from Harry Rhodes, Moses Gunn, Jitu
Vereen.
Kumbuka. They embraced me as the kid, and they taught me what it meant to be a professional actor.
Yeah.
They really did. They imbued me with the value of their experience in terms of this is what it means to be a professional, to be on time, right? To know your lines, right? To carry yourself in a certain way. It was direct instruction and learning by example. And I went to school.
You certainly did.
I went to school.
It was interesting because if I remember correctly, there was a big search and a big question mark as to who would play Kunta Kinte because everybody was familiar with the book, and of course the story really hinges on this character, and so you had a lot of weight on your shoulders at that time.
Didn't recognize it. Didn't
know.
realize it.
When did
I had
you
no
when did you
clue.
recognize it?
It wasn't until really years later, you know,
Yeah.
that I understood the position that I was in when I was 19. I mean, years later, right?
Like 20 years.
Yeah, 20 years later when I thought, oh my God, that was a lot of pressure for a 19-year-old kid. But I didn't internalize it because I didn't recognize it.
Yeah.
Thank God.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And
No,
that's a
it's
good thing.
good.
Yeah.
So now, okay, so LeVar Burton, you've had a long career. What do you want to do? I mean, you don't have anything to prove.
Yeah, I just want to keep doing what I'm doing, you know.
Do you still study acting?
I do, not in formal class. I do a lot of directing, and when I'm in the presence of really good acting, I want to be out there doing it. I still want to act. I still think I have a few good years left in me.
Is there a role? I know you've played Martin Luther King. You've played Kunta Kinte.
Yeah.
And of course the
Geordie LaForge. Come on, Trekkies, unite behind me on this one.
Yes, you've acted with the great Angela Lansbury.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
What roles out there or characters, historic characters, do you think, oh wow, that would be great, you know, to play Barry Gordy or to play, you know?
It's not about characters for me. It's about the storytelling. You know, I see myself as a storyteller.
You are, darling.
And my storytelling mentors have been in succession: Alex Haley, Gene Roddenberry, and Fred Rogers. I think three of the best in recent history at what they do, and that's what causes me to get up in the morning to share stories, because it's the stories that we tell each other that tend to identify for us who we are, why we're here, where we're going, and what our own unique contribution to the culture at large is going to be. I mean, it's the stories that we share that help define our purpose in life.
With the risk of sounding naive, Fred Rogers being the late Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
Yes,
The
absolutely.
brilliant. You know, I had I mean, I'm not going to call it unethical, but I just think it was a very
You had a
weird
crush?
obsession. Not a crush. It was an obsession with him. Growing up,
Yeah.
I grew up on Electric Company,
Okay.
Sesame Street.
Right.
This is where I found Morgan Freeman,
Yes.
Rita Moreno.
Yes.
Like, these are how these people were introduced into my life. And my parents both worked, so the TV was our babysitter.
Right.
That's just the fact of the matter.
Right.
I
Yeah.
know that all these new studies, this and that, but that's what I was raised on. Saturday morning was the cartoons, Fat Albert, Mike Jackson 5. That's what I grew up on in New Jersey.
So you had an obsession with
No,
Mr. Rogers?
It didn't come until like high school. It wasn't Crush, but I started to find the comedy in his delivery.
In his delivery. Yeah.
And his pureness.
Yes.
Purity was just like, I found something in him in high school
Yeah.
that I didn't have as
What
a child.
was his famous line? He said, "Yeah, stick with the kind people," or what was his?
He said, look for the helpers.
Look for the helpers.
Look for the helpers. That in times of trouble and tragedy, look for the helpers. There are always people who are trying to help.
And it's interesting you said that about the stories, how the stories begin really help us in those times, because the stories also become the helpers.
Yes.
They're the things that remind us who we really are and what we're here to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I touched on being an entertainer and how you're able to sustain yourself, especially when, as a sensitive, sweetheart, you work with all the emotions.
Yeah.
You work with all, and a lot of times, sometimes it becomes overwhelming.
Sometimes
So the
it does.
stories and the helpers, which
Yeah.
are stories,
They get us
sustain
through.
you.
They get us through.
Yeah.
They get us through.
And I want to ask you just too about acting. A lot of creative kids listen to this podcast. At what point did you give yourself the permission to graciously express your feelings on camera? One of my issues throughout my entertaining career has been to be able to show myself
Mm-hmm.
and to do it in a way that is unbridled.
Yes.
You know,
Authentic.
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 At what point, especially coming from a Catholic background,
Mm-hmm.
to then say, okay, here I am. I'm going to show all my emotions on camera with
Right.
25, 50 people behind the camera looking at me. It's like, when did you realize you could do it? And how do you explain being able to do it? Does that make any sense?
It does. I've gotten better at that sort of vulnerability over time. The deeper my relationship with myself, the easier it is for me to go to that vulnerable place in front of strangers.
It's like giving yourself permission in a way.
It
yeah?
is. It's really more than anything else. It's trusting yourself.
Now, aside from Roots and Dead takes a dive on Murder, She Wrote,
Yeah.
or Murder, She Sat Down and She Wrote, what role do you watch yourself and you think, oh my God, I'm giving too much? Where it embarrasses you because you are so raw. Now, don't include Murder, She Sat Down and She
won't.
Wrote.
No, I won't. But I also
Fantasy
back in the
Island.
day, I did an episode of The Love Boat.
Yay, the other one.
And when I watch that, I cringe.
You cringe.
I do. Yeah.
What was your
Is
storyline?
it not the Sammy Davis Jr.?
No.
No.
That was
It's
Fantasy
another
Island.
one. How
Yeah.
many fantasy? Wait a minute.
This was Love Boat.
Love
That-
Boat.
That was on
Love Boat.
before.
Okay,
Love
right.
Boat.
And
In
then
my
Showtime
mind,
at the
they were the
Apollo.
same
they're the
show.
same show. In my mind, they're the same show.
In many ways, they were.
No,
Yeah.
Love Boat,
Yeah.
Fantasy Island, then the news, then Saturday Night Live, then Showtime at the Apollo.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
That was
Boom.
your Saturday.
That was it.
So, who was your love interest
I was
on the
babysitting.
Love Boat episode? Was it Lynn Moody?
It was Sherry Belafonte Harper.
Oh, okay.
Ah,
all
of
right.
course.
Shelley
Very
Bub-
close.
Okay.
Very close. Very close.
And you cringe at it.
I do, because I was so awkward.
Awkward.
Yeah.
I want to see this episode.
Awkward
What
is
was the episode
endearing,
called?
Though.
I don't remember.
You know,
I
so
don't.
we just look up
LeVar Burton, Love Boat.
Love
Yeah,
Boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna take a
Why
break.
have they not remade the Love Boat?
They have.
Where?
They did it with Robert Urich. He did it. He was
was
the
the captain
he was the
Stewie?
captain. It lasted not
One
even a year.
episode?
Yeah. We got LeVar Burton. We're gonna come back after this break. Hey, who needs money? Anybody need some money?
Me.
Well,
Oh.
well, girl, you need to go to Lyft. You know, the ride-sharing app that lets you be your own boss, pick your own hours, and earn up to $1,500 a week.
What?
Driving your own car.
Oh my God, we have a special offer for y'all. Sign up today at Lyft.com and /rule. You get that $500 new driver bonus after you complete 100 rides within 30 days. And listen, they have a tip button in their app, right? So the thing is, with the tip button, you get to keep 100% of the tips.
Oh, I like that.
Yes, and they add up fast. Drivers have been paid over $200 million since the feature was first introduced. That's huge. And with Lyft, you don't have to wait for paychecks. With Express Pay, once you have over $35 in your account, you can cash out at any time. Lyft has even taken the guesswork out of pickups. They have a new this AMP device that codes people to help passengers find their drivers, so they make it really easy.
Oh, see, now I like the way that sounds because that's really, really helpful. We have a special offer,
Ooh,
too.
tell them about it.
Child, if you sign up at lyft.com/Rue, you'll receive a $500 new driver bonus after you complete 100 rides in 30 days.
Super easy to do
Girl,
that,
you know that's
too.
$500?
$500.
Yes. So go to lyft.com/Rue right now. We are back with LeVar Burton. We've asked him everything. We've covered
Everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, we've covered Murder She Sat Down and She Wrote. We've covered coffee enemas.
Yes.
And but we haven't talked about your kids. Now,
Yeah.
did I meet Michaela?
You have met Michaela.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Was it at that fair, that con?
The Genghis Con.
Not Genghis Con. It was
No.
the not Comic Con, but the other con. One of the,
Kamikaze?
yeah. You know this whole thing, and I'm sure you've met everybody. It's all such a blur.
Yeah.
You people are coming and going, and there's that one, and there were lights.
We were dressed up, so it. You know what it was? No, it was. I think it was the Emmys 2 years ago.
Okay.
In 2016.
So I was there too.
Yeah.
You were there,
Yeah.
and
And
Auntie
you-
M
and
and
you
Uncle
were there?
Remus.
Don't know him. Maybe.
So what do you've got kids and
Adults now.
adults now.
Yeah.
What do you tell these kids? Was it just really like sort of finding your way as you go along, or did you feel like you've bestowed wisdom upon these people?
My daughter wants to be an actor.
Oh dear.
Oh dear God.
Went
So
to
does
the
mine.
University of Michigan and was an acting major.
What do you do?
You know what? I embrace it.
Hmm.
Because here's the thing. You've got the Bridges family. You've got all of these showbiz families, right? You've got Dakota Fanning, whose mother is Melanie Griffith, whose mother is Tippi Hedren. You've got and if I can help my kid get into this business and have a career, you damn Skippy.
Yeah. Is
I'ma
she any
do it.
good?
She's really good.
Has she done things?
She graduated from the University of Michigan.
Right.
I
So
went to
that's
see
done.
her-
School's done.
Yeah, school's done.
She
I went
just-
to see her in plays.
She just finished?
No, she's worked. She's been out for 2 years. She works in Texas.
But she got her degree.
Yeah.
Good
She works
girl.
in Texas doing
Doing
what?
what?
She works for a company called Rooster Teeth.
Uh-huh.
They're
Oh.
content creators in the gaming space.
Yeah.
So, but what about the acting? Is she?
She's ready to come home. She's ready to walk away from the gaming
Mhm.
and come home and begin her career in earnest as an actor.
It is the toughest thing, you know.
And I'm so proud.
Tougher to be a
and
writer.
So scared. For
Yeah.
her.
Scared. Was scared. Why?
Well, because it is such a tough business, and I was having this conversation with my wife Stephanie just this morning. We were talking about how maybe, just maybe, at this particular juncture, with the fall of the old way of sexual harassment and abuse that runs so rampant in our world, and right now the spotlight is on Hollywood, perhaps our baby girl will be able to avoid a lot of that bullshit.
I think she will. Plus, she's got you as a father. She's got her as a mother.
Yeah.
She's going in armed with knowledge. That's what I say to my kids. And here's the thing. And I try to. My youngest is in an acting class now, and I try to tell. She asks about these things. She sees them all. They're on our news flashes on our phones every 5 minutes. No joke. And the difference is now what they got away with back then. But think about it, you guys. Hollywood was built on the moniker the casting couch.
Sure.
This has been going on forever.
Yeah.
If we equip our children with the knowledge of what you do not have to take,
Right.
then be assured that she'll be just fine.
I think we may be turning a corner.
Yeah.
Right
We
now.
may be turning a corner, but as a parent, listen, I don't have any kids,
Right.
but I was a kid once,
Mhm.
and I do know that I went out into the world, not a lot of processing tools from my parents.
Right.
I didn't know a lot. And I know that my parents, speak for myself, I know that my parents, they didn't know, first of
Right.
all. And second, to have that conversation, the real conversations with me would mean they'd have to deconstruct their own belief system, and that they would have to really address these issues with themselves. Mainly just the ability to know my own space. Let me just break it down here. Okay. I mean, if I were in a situation where I was being sexually harassed, a lot of my early years, I would have been silent. I would have been like a possum, like playing possum,
all
like
of these people did.
eyes wide open, thinking, "Oh, what do I do? What do I do?"
Yes.
Rather than being in the moment saying, "You know what?" Hitting someone back or
Right.
saying, "Mother, what? You know,
Right.
or somebody wants to masturbate behind a bush. I'd go, ha 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 ha,
Right.
ha ha ha. You know, I wouldn't know those things.
Right.
I wouldn't know those processing things. How, you know, you're both parents.
Yeah.
A lot of times parents don't want to have that conversation because it would mean that the relationship would change from that sweet little kid to automatically, okay, now we're here
Yes.
talking about penises and
this,
vaginas
this moment in time gives us an opportunity to have those conversations with our kids.
Yeah. They're a necessity.
Yeah, but listen, you guys have older kids. You have to have those conversations when they're 10.
I had my kid they give sex ed in elementary school now.
Yeah, but I don't want the school teaching my kid. I don't have any
Right.
kids.
True,
But you know,
but for us, sex ed growing. I'm 49.
Right.
Growing up for me, sex
I'm
ed.
29. That's
Oh
funny.
my God!
Yeah.
I'm almost done.
Yeah.
Ninth grade was when we had sex ed, you guys. Ninth grade.
Yeah.
They are now giving it in 5th grade. That's a big difference. That's a great step in the right direction,
Yeah.
in my opinion. But parents must. Children are getting pregnant at 11.
Yeah.
You must talk to your children as early as they can understand it and receive the information.
Yeah. And you know, as a parent,
you
what
know.
is age appropriate for your child in
Correct.
terms of information.
You don't have to
and
be
how
vulgar.
It's delivered.
You don't have to be, you know.
Who creates the content for LeVar Burton Kids?
We license the books from publishers, large and small. We convert them from PDFs into digital assets. And then the video field trips we do in-house. We do ourselves.
So,
that's
okay, so if
fun.
I went to LeVar Burton Kids right now, and it's for the kids of age ranges of what?
Kindergarten to 3rd grade.
3rd grade.
Yeah.
So it's like a book club?
It is a digital library. It is in the consumer version, it's over 500 books. In the version for schools, it's over 1,000 books and video field trips. And in the school version, there are lesson plans for teachers. And it's basically an adventure of discovery and exploration where a child can find books and educational video field trips that they're going to want to watch and they're going to want to read. And they're grouped around subjects. If your kid is into animals, you point them to Animal Kingdom Island. If your kid likes mysteries and adventure stories, there's Action, Adventure, and Magical Tales Island. So the kids go to the islands to consume the content that they are already predisposed to wanting to experience.
You can use it for homeschool curriculum as well.
Absolutely.
So
Wow.
what if your kid is into cross-dressing? What
Is there a book for
island?
that?
What island do they go to? Not Fantasy Island.
Yes, Fantasy Island.
Sammy Davis
girl.
Jr.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
There's an island for everybody, Rue.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
3rd grade is young, but
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
you have,
I'm
you have
being
kids.
funny.
I know you are, but the reality is.
But the reality
there's
is,
trans
we
kids
we
at, you know,
we,
3rd
we
grade.
have we have kids who are gender fluid
Yes.
at earlier and earlier
Yes.
ages these days. And look, in terms of the diversity of books, we need more diversity in children's literature. We need to give every child an opportunity to find themselves reflected in not just the popular culture, but in the books that they read. Because a child who is not exposed to images of themselves where they can self-identify is being sent a message that you don't matter. And I grew up in an era where, you know, it was rare to see black people on television. It was rare to see Julia with Diane Carroll. It was rare to see Clarence Williams III in that afro on the Mod Squad. You know, it was rare to see Sammy Davis Jr. on The Rifleman. And my children have grown up in a different reality, in a different environment. And still, we can do a better job of making sure that every child feels like he or she is represented.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Well, the website is called LeVar Burton Kids,
That's
and
us,
it's
y'all.
fantastic. It's been so much fun
RuPaul.
talking to you.
I'm a fan.
You are
I'm a
fantastic,
fan.
and you
we are all fans in my family. My wife, my daughter, my granddaughter.
Oh, I love that.
I
We all love you.
love that.
We all
But
love you.
you know, you are an anointed person. You know, the fact that at 19 you were plucked out of obscurity and turned into a superstar.
As a college student.
And not only that, but as a cultural icon to represent the tenacity of the human spirit is such an amazing thing. And I probably in your lifetime you could never really grasp the impact of that. But I know you have a good idea of it.
And the thing that I think most grateful for is having survived that journey, right? And come out on the other side sort of tempered piece of steel.
I love that.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Well, LeVar Burton, thank you so much for being with us.
Peace and blessings, y'all.
You are lovely. And you have a podcast.
I do. LeVar Burton Reads.
LeVar Burton Reads.
Yeah, it's where I pick my favorite piece of short fiction and I read it.
What's
every
a piece
episode.
of short fiction?
A short story.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
And where do people find that?
Wherever
there's SoundCloud,
iTunes, Stitcher.
Yeah.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
Okay.
Come and get you some.
LeVar Burton Reads.
All different genres?
Yes, all different genres.
And it's not just for kids.
It's for adults.
Because Stephen King has some really great short stories.
Yeah?
10 Past Midnight is one of my favorites.
Really?
Yeah, it's 10 short stories. There's some brilliant ones.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd love to hear your voice.
I'm on it.
And you read all the parts?
I read them all, yeah.
I see.
And then we sweeten that experience with some sound effects and music. It's a theater of the mind experience.
Back to the old way.
Right?
I love it. Well, just remember that when you are sweetening the experience with sound effects, that farts are funny.
Thank you, Rose.
Just keep that in mind.
I will keep that in mind and to heart.
Yes. All right.
Farts are funny.
Farts are very funny.
All right.
All right, Michelle Visage.
Yes, baby. I just want to say, because Alex wants us to say it, and he's looking at us, that this is Deadly Manners, the finale.
Yes.
Yes, that just happened. So.
Oh, the finale just happened.
Finale just happened.
LeVar Burton is in that.
Yeah. LeVar Burton is the voice.
Is the narrator. Yes.
You're in it, and I'm in it.
Am I in it?
We're acting in it. LeVar is the voice.
Wait, you're in it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Huh.
I knew that you were in it. I did not know that you were in it.
Esther Feinstein.
Oh my God.
Ah.
You're wonderful.
Thank you, LeVar.
And
yes.
you are wonderful. And even though I haven't listened to it, I think that it's probably really, really good.
You know what? People love it.
It's fantastic.
People are loving it.
Yeah.
People have loved it.
We'll have to do another one.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Different characters, obviously, because I'm dead.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Oh, spoiler alert.
Oh, see?
Spoiler alert.
You can't take some bitches anyway.
Dang it. Dang it.
Well, there you have it.
Okay, there you
Dark Manners.
Deadly.
Right? Deadly Manners.
Oh, good Lord. I've known it for 30 years. My children still has problems
I don't know
with
their
the
names. I don't know their names. But, Deadly Manners.
Deadly Manners.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you, LeVar.
Thank you
thank
all.
you, Michelle Visage.
I love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen? If you can't love yourself, how in the hell you gonna love somebody else? Can I get an amen?
And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes.
If you can't love yourself, how in the hell you gonna love somebody else? Amen.